Standing on Mindera's Yellow Box India in this episode is Product Owner Charu Kanwar. Working directly with key stakeholders and subject matter experts, Charu distills and documents the business needs behind each project to ensure objectives are met and a successful solution is delivered. She talks to Archanna Krishna Kumar about herself, her role, and more.
Hi everyone, welcome to the fourth episode of our Mindera Yellow Box. This time we bring to you Charu, who's been with Mindera for over 4 years, and she's been a product owner. And let's hear from her. Welcome, Charu. Let's start with a little bit about you, your background, and what brought you to this role.
Okay, thank you so much, Archana, for having me in the podcast. Uh, to briefly give an introduction, I have done my engineering, and then post engineering I have done my MBA from Bangalore itself, and then I have a total of around 13 years of experience working as a business analyst and a product owner. Mindra I joined in 2019, and since then I'm working with Mindra, and I think it's been a very good journey for me in Mindra, because I've worked with different clients, different domains, and it's really exciting to see myself growing along with Mindra. How we were just I would say 10 members team in 2019, and we see how we have grown right now to our numbers. So,
So yeah, oh, it's more than 6 years now. That's what a journey, huh? And tell me, Charu, what keeps you motivated in this space?
so product owner, right? Product owner is about delivering a tangible value. So the most exciting is, you get an opportunity to shape a product that people can use, right? You yourself can use. So you see how you are able to, address the problems. You are able to enjoy it. You are able to get benefit out of what you have been, developing for so long. So I think that is what excites me as a role of a product owner, because I see a lot of satisfaction in seeing a feature, which I have developed, and that is actually solving somebody's problem or any business problem for that matter. So yeah.
That's awesome. So, Charu, different organizations interpret product owner in different capacities. So, we'd just love to hear from you what exactly are the core responsibilities of a product owner.
Okay, so when it comes to core responsibilities, Archana, I would say first and foremost is, defining and communicating what the product is, right? Ensuring that all the stakeholders, everyone understand the why behind the product, right? Why we are building this feature, why we are doing this product. So they should understand the business goal and how the product is aligning to the business goal. That's very much important. Then comes your backlog management, how well you are able to, prioritize and manage the backlog which is there. uh, Another important responsibility of a product owner is stakeholder alignment, right? So to make sure that all the stakeholders, like business, technical teams, the users, they are aligned on the goals and the priorities, so everybody is on the same page when I'm talking about a product or a feature, correct? Then decision making. So there are a lot of times you would come into a situation where you have to make a very tough call, right? Very lot of trade offs on the scope, on the timing, on the feature, right? To balance the user needs and the deliverables. So that's where your role comes into picture, how well you are able to balance that, and how well you are able to make that strategic decision, during that tough time. So these are the major, I would say, the responsibilities of an product owner, what I think of.
I think you said it all. Basically, most of many times product owners are at the crossroads trying to balance the stakeholders as well as the developers. So you just said it all that how you would be balancing it. So that's nice. So tell me another thing, Charu. Like many a times, how do you ensure that the product aligns with the business strategy? So how do you go about it, with the business goals, and how do you align that, the product you are trying to create is in the same line?
Yeah. So basically, whenever you build a vision for a product, right, it's very much important that I understand what is the business goal, right? What the what is it that the business is trying to achieve. Say for example, the business goal is to increase a market penetration of a new product, right? So as a product owner, what I would want is, I would want to focus on the feature that would enhance the product differentiation, right, or improve a user experience, right? So basically there may be similar kind of products in the market, but I would want to differentiate my product so that I increase the product, the user base increases for my product. So I would want to prioritize those features where I can target a specific customer pain point, right? And so that's where it's very important that I understand what the business goal is. So if the business goal is to expand my market, I would want to have a vision for the product on the similar lines. So having a clear out communication and understanding the business goal is something which is very important while building a vision or while building a roadmap for a product.
Yeah, so I think you said it all. Communication is very important. I think that's the key, I guess, right? And I'm sure you would have had a lot of moments where you would have been having to take tough decisions. Would you give any examples of those?
Yes, Archana. So a lot of times, especially with the product owners or the product managers, we come to a situation where you have to, kind of sandwich between the two teams. You have product on one side, you have technical team on one side, right? So a lot many times you will encounter this situation, because I myself have in the span of 12 to 13 years, I have seen this coming up two three times in my projects, or I think more, right? So where you have uh, to do a trade-off between the feature which product wants to deliver, right? A business expects the feature to be delivered. Then you have technical debt items, right, where you want to say, suppose for example, decrease the loading time, right, and improvise the quality of the product, correct? So sometimes what happens, it becomes difficult to make business understand why these technical changes are also important. And when you have defined set timelines, right, where you have to deliver, so that's where you need to talk to the different stakeholders, talk to the technical team as well, the architects as well, where you understand why they feel that this technical change is important. So if you have to trade off whether you want to go ahead with the technical change or you have to go ahead with the business feature, because what business would see is, I did not see any new feature getting added another, say suppose 1 month of time, what you did for the whole 1 month, right? So I did not see any new feature coming in what the team was working on. So it's very important how well you can, uh, communicate this information to the business so that you get that buy-in that okay, we are okay, you go ahead with that technical debt items for another some weeks of time, and do not deliver any feature for that matter, right? So that is one of the decision where you have to convince multiple stakeholders and get the things delivered, right? So this is one thing. uh, I would, I can also give a little bit example on, sometimes we work on items. Let's say example for my team. I have worked for say suppose 4 or 5 months on a particular thing. Then suddenly we got to know that okay, business has changed the decision. They do not want to go ahead with this product now. Now that product what you have worked upon for 4 5 months, you have put in a lot of your efforts, lot of your analysis, lot of your findings, and then you suddenly get to know that you are not going to get this into production to the customers or the use. I myself feel bad when I have to communicate that information to the developer saying that what you have worked upon is not going to go into production. So that's where the product role comes into picture, that how you can convince or how well you can make sure that the team is not feeling bad saying that okay, their effort has not gone in vain. But yeah, that is.
He's a great articulator as well. Okay.
Yes,
So tell me, if you had to add an emoji to your sprint planning, so what would it be?
I would say a blushy face, because I always go with a blushy face in my sprint planning. So
I think a smile always cures everything. Huh? Whatever
yeah,
falls
that's the
in
key, that
between.
when I go there, at least people are happy and not in shock what is coming in for us now.
That's a good way of putting it, adding it. Okay. So again, product success depends on a lot of collaboration and how do you bring everyone to the table. So that equation, how do you collaborate effectively?
again, Archana, I would say, because when we work as a product owner, it's not that only one team you are working with, right? So you have multiple team working on a same feature for that matter. So it becomes very important that we are aligned. Everybody is aligned on what we are trying to achieve. So we always deliver as a team. We do not deliver as a single, say suppose my team has done something, okay, we are done. But as a product, we are not ready, right? So it becomes very important how well we communicate with the dependent teams as well. So
Mm,
if you have multiple, so communication plays a very important role, and timely communication. It's not about only communicating, how advanced you are communicating your needs to the other team, because what happens is they have their own set of priorities, they have their own set of requirements to be done. So it's very important that you hand over your requirements at a very early stage, so that by the time they are done, you are able to pick that work and still you can deliver on time. So that is the roadmap, which is very important. A product owner should keep in mind that, okay, by when do I need this, so that the other team also have sufficient time to do the work and deliver it to me on time, right? So the communication plays very important role. Another thing is prioritization, right? Not everything can be done, right? You cannot deliver everything. You always have to prioritize. So you sequence your features in a way that what are the must have, what are the could haves, right? What is the should have. So it's like, uh, there may be some features which are very important, you cannot live without it, right? There can be a feature like, okay, even if you do not deliver, business is okay, it's like good to have feature. So you categorize your features or your requirements in those categories, and then you see that how you can prioritize this along the roadmap of the product. Correct. So that is the second thing, the prioritization, the timely communication, right? And regular communication. So when you're working with the dependent teams, it's very important that you collaborate them on a regular basis, say weekly once or weekly twice, so you know that how well they are progressing, and how you can plan your work accordingly.
mhm. That's very, very well said. So, many a times conflicts do happen, and then yeah, apart from giving out your lovely smile and communication, what else? What are the other skills you require to navigate or handle these conflicts?
So yes, conflicts do happen, and it's very common, Archana. If I talk about when you work with different teams, and in the ever changing sphere, we are working with agile, right? The requirements keep changing. It's very very common that we encounter conflicts, be it related to any requirement miss or dependency not getting resolved. So everything comes down, drills down to a place where, when you have identified that there is a gap, right? And how well you have communicated that so conflict might happen, how well you mitigate it, how in advance you plan to mitigate that conflict is something which is the key. So very well advanced planning, or very well advanced information given to the different teams, or communication is something which I would say plays a very important role. And if there is a conflict situation, say suppose you're not able to deliver, how, what is the workaround you can think about so that you do not end up getting blocked, right? So that is another thing which, wherein your skills come into picture. Okay, you identify something where the teams are not blocked, right? And then you proceed accordingly. So that is another thing which I would say matters a lot.
That's really cool, I would say. So many a times, the users, their feedback reshape the entire product thinking. So how do you take these feedback and incorporate it in your product decisions?
Yes. So, very important thing, Shana, it's like, getting a user feedback, and when you are getting that feedback. So,
Mhm.
usually sprints are like 2 to 3 weeks long, right? And then, in the 2 to 3 weeks, you are able to deliver some piece of work which you can show it to the user, and user can relate what they are, trying to do with that feature. So, as soon as that particular feature is ready, any feature is ready for that matter, you share it with the user. So the key here is, as early as you get the feedback, you are able to incorporate those changes, rather than showing it at the end of 2 months, saying that, okay, we have built the entire set of features, like 5 6 features, and you show them all together, and then you get a feedback saying that all of these are not of my use, right?
Mhm.
So the early you get an feedback, and it becomes easy for you to incorporate those changes also, and without wasting much time, I would say, right?
The
So
constant
what I
feedback is very important.
cost that feedback, be it sharing a screenshot, be it asking them to, if they can just spare 5 minutes and we can just quickly show it off to them. I know the users are very busy, we don't get their time off very soon. So what I usually do is I'll share a screenshot showing them, how it is looking like. So I just get a very quick feedback saying that okay, it looks fine, at least not something which is, completely go for a toss. There may be changes here and there, but nothing something like, no, complete wrong or complete scrap, nothing like that.
That's good. So, what's the biggest challenge you have faced as a PO so far? And if you did have anything, how did you overcome it?
Um, we do product owners, right? We do get a lot of challenges while we work with different stakeholders, right? Saying no is, I would say, the biggest of all. So you should have that skill of saying no, because at times what would happen is you will have a lot of requests coming in from different stakeholders, right? And you have to maintain your relationship and focus as well. So it should not be the case that uh, you are scared that you might end up disturbing the repo between the stakeholders, and then you're not saying no. So uh, saying no is something which is very much important, and that's what I think as a beginner you will face the biggest challenge, because I myself have faced it, because you have a constant fear in your mind that okay, if I say no, that the other person might feel bad, that is, I've not prioritized his request, something like that. So saying no. Another thing is, how do you handle the different teams, right? This is very very much important and challenging for a product owner when you work in an environment where you have, say, suppose I take my example in my current project. I work with 6 dependent teams, so my work is dependent on 6 different teams. So how I am juggling with these 6 teams and one which is my team. So how well I am able to communicate, how well I'm able to manage those dependent requirements so that my work is not getting impacted, my team's work is not getting impacted, is something which is, I would say, is the biggest challenge for a PO,
Yeah,
handling dependent teams, right? uh, then I would say information gaps that might happen, that is another challenge. Details get lost sometime. What happens is, when you are communicating with different stakeholders, you tend to miss on some requirements or some information. But as a product owner, I think we are working in an all agile and a scrum model. So I think everybody understands that even if there is a mess, we do have a scope to incorporate it coming sprint. So but yeah, that is one of the challenge what I feel as a product owner.
that's cool. That's really interesting. And tell me, if your sprint planning was a sport, Charu, what sport would it be? And probably in an Olympic event. So how do you, which one
I
would you
think
pick?
I would go with the 100-meter sprint race,
Uh-huh.
because I know I have a defined timeline. I have to
Uh-huh.
complete my sprint in that timeline,
Mm-hmm.
and I have defined set of resources.
Mm-hmm.
So I would compare it with smaller, like 100-meter sprint racing.
That's really nice. You didn't really go in and say that it was like, swimming into a big ocean also. So you really know, you don't really feel that these sprints are a big task for you. That's what it shows. So, and really nice, really a good perception of what you have. So, there are many misconceptions of an PO out over there. So, what are the common misconceptions, and how would you want to clarify it?
Okay, so that is, myself, I have faced so many times, this thing. So I would say the biggest misconception is that the product owner must know everything about the product, right? And its development. So it's like I really want to make sure that everyone understands, even who is an aspiring product owner, that you need not to be an SME of everything, right? Might not know everything. There are people, there are subject matter experts, you can still rely on them for the guidance. What you should be is, you should be your customer's voice, right? What the customer wants, why he wants it. So that is what is more important, rather than everything. So that fear must go off. So that is one of the biggest misconception that the product owner must already know, right? The second thing I would say is sometimes it is being also taken as that the product owner manages the team, right? So the product owner is not a team manager, right? The product owner's role is always strategic, right? Focusing on prioritizing the work that will deliver the maximum value or a business value, right? So it's not a product or not a team manager at all. So the product manager, I would say, is not a jack of all trades. He might not know everything, right? They are not an order taker saying that, okay, they have taken the order from the customer and they have passed on to the development team saying that you have to do this. Nor they are the manager of the team. Their role is mostly strategic decision making, prioritization, and then communication. How well you are able to communicate, how well you act as a voice of the customer, and then you align the product. Right? So that's what I would say.
That's such a genuine answer, Charu. That not necessarily everyone need to know everything. And another big misconception is, where they think that PO is a big bridge between stakeholders as well as developers. No, basically you all are there just to smoothen the entire process and to create strategy. So that's a very nice way of adding it, Charu. So let's shift a little gear a bit. So how do you spot trends and opportunities to innovate? So new trends keep evolving. So how do you spot them and how do you incorporate it in your day-to-day work?
So with the new trends coming in, right? So as a PO, it becomes very important that you always stay curious, right? You need to keep learning. You cannot just sit like this and just do your day to day or a business as usual, right? You need to keep yourself updated. Who are my competitors? What they are up to, right? What my industry, what which domain I am working on, that industry, how well it is progressing, what is a trend which is going on now with chat gpt, AI, data driven things coming into picture. How well you are aware of all the latest technologies that is shaping the product nowadays, so that the product requirements are also getting changed with the user base. Nowadays, if you see that AI, ML, everything is going deep and deep into each and every product what we see. So we need to keep yourself very much updated with the industry, with the tools. So you see every day, you'll see, after a few days, you'll see there are some new products which are coming in, some new tool which will help you to streamline your task, or streamline the work which you are doing in a very better or a very organized way. So you need to keep yourself updated, because with the technology is changing so frequently. Gone are the times where we used to have Java only for going on for long years, and then you are still considered a good developer if you only know Java. Nowadays it is gone. So you have to be on toes of, tip of the toes, I think, that you need to keep yourself updated with what is going around.
Mm-hmm. No, that's cool. That's cool. Another thing is, there would have been one particular skill which would have been very crucial for an product owner to be successful. So, what skill would you say, Charu? What is that main one top skill which is really needed for a PO to be successful?
I think I would say, the PO needs to be very empathetic.
Like,
The PO must understand. Why I'm saying is that until you get onto the shoes of a customer and you try to understand their pain point, it becomes very difficult for you to shape your product, or you to understand, what the customer really wants. So
Mhm.
that is the one thing I would say it's very much important. A product owner must have a soft skill, I would say, but yes, very much important in my point of view.
That's a real good answer. Huh? So again, when we are talking about, staying current with the trends, so how do you, stay ahead of the curve with so much of product ownership and management evolving rapidly? So how do you keep up with the trends?
Usually, Ashra, what we will do is, you have a lot of courses which are there updated on LinkedIn. You have courses on Udemy. You have courses which are being driven by a lot of teaching institutes nowadays, right? You have a lot of magazines which publish these data, how the industry is performing. So whatever domain you are working on, right? So what I would usually do is I would try to find out some magazines or some reports where Gartner report, or you will have a lot of publishers which publish the reports based on the trends which are going on in the industry. So all these things, you need to take your time out. So you have to divide your schedule in a way so that at least 1 hour you take for yourself, where you do your self learning. Or say suppose if you only get time over the weekends, just take 2 hours once in a week. Even if you're not getting anything, just try to take out some time where you learn about what you are working on, how the industry is progressing, right? What are the new trends coming in, what are the new products which are coming in. So you need to keep yourself updated. Only thing is you need to take your time out somehow.
Absolutely. I think 2 hours a week is absolutely should be doable for anyone.
Yeah, that is the bare minimum anyone should spend, because you cannot stay with outdated information in the current trend what is going on. You will be left behind. Even
Absolutely.
if you stay like this for, I think, a month, and then you are behind for years, I would say. It's just so fast changes which are happening everywhere around. So you need to keep yourself updated, is what I can say.
Absolutely agree. Absolutely true. So, how, when you do the sprint planning, how much of caffeine do you have?
Not much. So usually when I go for a sprint planning, Archana, I will usually do a pre-planning before it with my leads and everyone. So I am very well prepared. Where, I don't have too many of open questions or too many of things in my mind. I mean, I am not confused before I'm going into the sprint planning. So I make sure I clarify everything so that
Mhm.
I go with a clear mind and it goes smooth. So usually that's what I do is I'll do a pre-planning,
Okay.
uh, and that makes it easier for me.
Okay.
Manage the time as well.
Okay. Okay. So, any advice you would want to give to the current aspiring product owners? Is there any particular note you would want to give? What would really make a big impact?
um, I would say, Anchana, PO role is something which, if you are into that, strategic decision making, and a person who wants to learn, who wants to keep learning, it's very very good role where you can use your skill set, use your abilities to the maximum extent you can. So master the art of learning, I would say. Master
Mhm.
the art of learning. Always stay curious, be adaptive. Do not be go with a rigid mind saying that no, you have defined the requirement like this, now I cannot go back. Be very adaptive to the changing market conditions. And always have a data driven approach, as I said before, right? So that's what I would advise.
That's a very good way of putting it, adding it, everything, quantify everything, whatever you're doing. So that's something really good. So coming to the end of this session, let's take you on to a rapid fire round, Charu. So are you ready for it?
Yes, let's
Okay.
go.
So one tool or software you cannot live without.
I think with me it would be Jira, because if Jira is down, I cannot do anything.
Oh, okay. Okay. So would you use Agile or a Scrum if given a chance?
I think Agile.
Agile, okay. So one word that defines you or your approach as a product owner.
Empathy.
Oh, nice. Okay. So a product which you wish you could have built.
I think that would be Chat GPT.
Oh, lovely. Okay. So again, is it metrics or intuition? What drives your decisions more?
As I said, always metrics.
Metrics. Awesome. Awesome. Okay. And so yeah, and there it is, the mysteries of an product owner completely revealed. So a big thanks to you, Charu, for sharing the truth in this rapid fire round. And what I would just tell everyone is, remember, when you're just going a little off track, just go grab a coffee, as what even sometimes Charu does. and then completely, raise your inner product owner. So she did talk about resilience, adaptability, communication, feedback. So yeah, so we have all the secrets out over here. So until we meet up next time, so keep building, just stay curious, stay inspired, and remember, product ownership starts with a bold decision, and with, of course, even a very long backlog. And yes, until we catch up with you, take care. Bye bye. Ciao.
Bye. Thank you, Archana.